Hello and welcome to Samson 4. In the women's class, we advanced the Samson class. So I strongly recommend those that tuned into the last Samson, which would be number 3, I urge you to listen to women number 2. Because we solved the Hazelelponi riddle. Justin B., give me a 1 on that. We started the riddle, and we ended the riddle. And it was quite the riddle. In the women's Torah, we learned about Hazelelponi in just a different context that allowed us to really understand. And the premise is that she is a great Ger woman, but in the land of Israel. Whereas our previous Ger women, let's say the matriarchs, were pre-Sinai. Zipporah was outside the land. Ruth, I would say we're pretty biased by now of Ruth, or we have certain expectations of Ruth. It's like saying, what kind of shoes do you want to buy? Well, I want Nikes. Well, that's great, but there's other shoes other than Nike. So we have Hazelelponi is one of these Ger fantastic women, and she really reminds us of Rahab. And Rahab is kind of like the queen, right? The first of this kind of breed coming in the land of Israel. Remember, it's a time period. It's Joshua and the Judges. And Joshua and Judges is going to lead to, let's say, the Tanakh, Samuel and Kings, i.e. the prophetic tradition, the kings, the whole Jewish nation as we know it. So Rahab was the mother of this Ger element that will become, as we know today, quite elusive, type 1. Just pinning down who, what, when, where, how, and why is Ger, especially the female type. Because thanks to our English commentators and translators, Ger woman means convert to most people. I'm not saying it always has to be Ger, but we know that it's not always a convert. And we know that when it says B'nai Yehuda, it can be literal, Jewish tribesmen of Judah, or Lafi Pshuto, especially when they mention the Kenites in relation to that. And the Kenites were not Jewish. All right, so we got Hazelelponi pretty much clear. Next week, I endeavor to go into Samson proper and look at Hazelelponi with new eyes. But before we do that, let's just test the formula of this Ger woman, and that Hazelelponi is the mazel of Samson. The story. Let's check it out. I forget all the exact reasons why we thought to check it, because it was intricate. But I know that we said it about 5,000 times. We want to check it. So therefore, I think it's even better that we don't know why we're doing it. That way we can look at it with an objective eye and see what happens. What do you think, Justin B? Let our weak point be our strong point. What do you think? Yeah, I agree too. Let us be surprised. Who is that? Jacques, good to see you. We're going to check out Rahab, Jacques. We solved our Hazelelponi issue. And we want to check out Rahab. Just looking at some things here. Hold on a second. Okay. Rahab. I'm reading from my Encyclopedia of Tanakh characters. Are you gentlemen ready? Are you gentlemen ready? All right. Rahab from Joshua 2:1. Justin B., when I close this book, I'm probably going to forget where to look it up in Scripture. I will rely on you to say Joshua 2:1. Can I get a 1 on that? There you go. Arba nashim yefafiyos hayu ha'olam Sarah, Rachav, Avigail, ve'Esther. 4 beautiful women. Rachav v'shem zinta, Yael b'kuyla, Avigail b'zichirasa. These are all Ger women. Kua oime Rachav, mide keri, b'yoyde mechira. Ein lecha kol sar v'nagi shalo ba'al Rachav azoyne. Haisim izana im benay b'madina b'fnim v'im halistim b'chutz ki beisa b'kira choyme v'titzpeinu lo hatim hatmena ki im lekaleb v'tatzpeinu lo hatmina ki im lekaleb b'shpachais beis avidis habutz beis ishbar Zerachav azoyne shetimna esam raglim. Rachav azoyne shtei nafasher tatzila afilu haya mishpachos. All right, this is all just about what she did. We know what she did. Okay. Bat esir shanim hayisa kishiyatz Yisrael Mitzrayim v'zanda kol 40 shana d'ayim Yisrael Midbar. Achrei 50 shana nizgayre amra yahe macholi. Okay. Bishash Yisrael Yisim Ratzon Shamak, Malash Baruch Hu Mechazer Bekula Oilam Kula Varoya Eiza Tzadi Bamul Umas Oilam Maviyam Vidaku Yisrael Kagon Yisrael Barachav. So when God looked for the righteous, the tzaddik from the nations of the world, at the time Israel does the will of their master, Jacques, you should type 1 because we did this in your living room or your dining room. Remember that, Jacques? And when we do the will of God, God shakes the world and we find Gerim. Remember that? Type 1. And if you're with us, Jacques, type 1. And they say like Jethro and Rahab. So we know that Jethro is Ger, Rahab we know is Ger, just works. Rachav azoyne krava gishbaruch hu avalo b'chra. Rachav azoyne is Gaira benasi Yeshua. Shmoyne, okay. Shmoyne Navim ve'hem kohanim. V'yatzum Rachav azoyne ve'eluhem. Neri Baruch Sarya Mechasi Yirmiyah Chelgiah. Yeshamrim Af Ezra Yechezkel V'Holda Neviah. Interesting. Some say Ezra came from her. Interesting. Amar Kosh Baruch Hu Yisrael Ani Amar Yilachem Ki Yachama Kol Masha Kasav Yisrael Genai Kasav Rachav Shevach. Right, Israel's a harlot. We left God. She's a harlot, and she's great. All right, so I'm not too impressed with what we're saying on Rahab. So I'll dig a little deeper. Let me think here. We want to say that Rahab is good. And Hazelelponi, she is dafka good. So that, you see the connection I want to make here? Right? Rahab, we have to discover that she's good. Hazelelponi, you have to also discover that she's good. The whole Cohen prophet thing coming out, even angelic with Pinchas and Joshua. So we're seeing the same elements. Good evening, Trevor, Quentin, and myself. It's good to see you guys. Trevor, good to see you, Quentin. Good to see that you're in class. We're seeing the intangibles of the story. We're seeing the intangibles in these stories. Just thinking out loud. The Cohen, the prophecy, the angel looking for the good in this Ger woman, that we have to discover the good. I like this. I like that. Having discover the good. I just like that. I don't know why. I really like that. I'm just thinking. I'm just taking time to think. I kind of like this thought. So how do we get from Rahab to Hazelelponi? So that Samson gets the mazel from the angel. Angel gets it from Hazelelponi. Who posted this? That's probably Justin B, isn't it? Yeah. So then we had Hazelelponi. Saria ben Dan. That's where it came from. Saria ben Dan. So Saria ben Dan is the helper of Mashiach that brings down Armless. Saria ben Dan is from Dan and Judah, and that's Manoach and Samson's parents, and Saria comes from Rahab. The whole Cohen prophecy thing, Rahab, right? So it was Rahab's mazel that becomes the mazel of Samson and his parents. And the question initially was, what is Samson's mazel? So we know that it's Hazelelponi, and it's also Rahab, and then you can say it's Ger women, like the secret of Ger women, which Manoach and Hazelelponi making a Samson is the exact same as Joshua and Rahab making what we see comes out of her, Jeremiah, Yechezkel, and all of these. It is the secret of the Ger Toshav and the Jew, same as Ruth and Machlin and Killian. So on one hand, that mazel is what allows all this to happen. And their vessels that came out of them doing it are Samson. So you don't have to do that to get the mazel of it. The mazel they brought into existence. And then Hazelelponi and the angel, we had a specific mazel to Samson. Just thinking again. So can we say that Hazelelponi's mazel from the angel is the same as Rahab, and that is perpetuating a prophecy, the prophecy carried in the flesh? When the flesh dies, the prophecy continues. If that's true of Hazelelponi, Rahab gives birth to prophets in the flesh. Do we see an angelic prophecy with Rahab? Do we see Hazelelponi with Rahab? We know that Joshua Kabbalistically carries the message of Metatron. Joshua is a very complicated figure. When you start looking into Joshua, and their daughter marries Pinchas, because it just works out. You have to say that. All the different things. Pinchas had land in the Mount Ephraim. Hazelelponi is Samson's mother. As we said at the beginning of the class, I urge you to watch Women 3. And you can get that link from Justin B, God willing. Justin B, can you please send Jacques the link to Women 3? So where the question that I'm entertaining in my mind is, where do we go with Rahab? We want to focus and see the mazel. The mazel is the prophecy that she's working on. That she's working with a spiritual entity. What is that? There we go. She's working on a spiritual entity. Let's look at the scriptures of Rahab. You guys want to do that? I think it's important, right? Because the reason why it's not interesting is because we have no idea what she did in our Ger universe of women. Let's just check it out. Joshua 2:1. I'm not promising to find anything, but let's try it. All right. Joshua 2:1. All right. Ready? You guys ready? Everyone open up their Tanakh. Joshua 2:1. This is like a Navy SEAL commando unit we're doing here. We're just trying to, we're really scraping the bottom here. Because if we don't, then we'll never know what we're doing. Oh, that's nice to know. The Midrash adds the divine presence rested upon her until the Israelites entered Jericho, for she knew that they would return after 3 days. All right, so let's check it out. Ready? I mean, like I said, if we don't do it now, then like forever hold your peace. So we're going to snoop around and see if we can find Hazelelponi, prophetic Ger woman mazel. Agreed? 1 or 2. And we're looking for Samson mazel here, as identified through Hazelelponi. Vayishlach Yehoshua bin Nun. Min hashitim shnayim anashim meraglim cheresh leimor. Joshua sent 2 guys. Go look in the land of Jericho and go and come to the house of the woman who's a zona, a harlot, or a shopkeeper. I like to call her a shopkeeper. And her name is Rahab, and she chills over there, we'll call it. Now, my first question is, how does Joshua know about her? What do you guys think? So she was their shopkeeper. Joshua knew where to get the goods. Oh, Chazal Mahu Zaina Yesh Shapershu Zaina Mamish. Ubehichrech the little pligi Hari Rashi Hari Khan Drush Shemocheres Mazainis Lahal Pasuk V Drush Shani Jais Mazdan. So the language of Zona, this is very funny. The Zona, a harlot, is the same as Mazon, sustenance. So was she a Zona sleeping around? Or Zona giving sustenance? If it's sustenance, Jacques and I learned last night that's mazel, and that's wisdom, and that's Ger woman wisdom, and that's prophetic because it's deep wisdom, type 1. So you're looking at a very wise woman in Rahab. She is the Zona. She is the goods. She is Kroger or whatever store you have locally near you, right? She's big, and that's big mazel and big wisdom. And then that's the job of the Kohen and the Navi. In Kabbalah, 100%. The job of the Kohen and the Navi is they have the same wisdom to bring sustenance to the world. All right, now we're seeing something here, guys. We are seeing it. because the word for harlot, zona, is the same as mazon. So those that want to not understand Kabbalah will call her a zona. Those that understand in Kabbalah the biggest thing is mazon would then appreciate her wisdom. Those that know, and those that don't know. It could be that she used her female gifts the wrong way. I don't know. But lav dafka, we don't have to say that. Linguistically it works. And some just choose to look at the Torah. Exactly. Some look at the Torah from a Kabbalistic perspective and some don't. Mitsudas Sion says she sold sustenance. And it says refer to Mishlei Proverbs 3. I tend to believe that. All right, here we go. Medrash Tanchuma lo Yericho Haisa Sogram and Ola Shalir Israel. Amro im Yeriko Nikvesh Kula Aras Nikvesh Leviga Nesrasu Ledoiga Shiva Alimis. The Yericho Haisa Rosh Lavod Zaira. Aha Kibo Yericho Haya La Milam Yochedis Kamo Yerushalayim Kamo Ravid Bishim Moira Barava Chasi Zal Sha'amar Lakol. Hana the Gadani the Hay Sha'ayu Nishmayim Yericho Maisa Nisim Hayu Vedavka Haya Yericho Nishma Velo Yishar Sadin Elke. They were conquering Jericho, and it becomes part of the 7 Canaanite nations. She got in before them. Negev is Kvar Bikas Yericho Malama Sharel Gashbaruchu Lamoisha Go Vakul Amoni Atidim Lipo Bikas Yericho. Okay. So now we're ready to turn the page. Ready? So we're already doing good with our Rahab study. The kings of the land told our friend Rahab, cough up the Jews. And she was righteous. Wait, Isha Shnei Anashim. Where does it say that? Next one. Vatikach Isha Shnei Anashim Vatitz Penu. Vatoimer Kain Balu Elai Anashim Velo Yadadi Mein Heva. She took the men and hid them. Who were the men, Jacques? Who were the men? Any takers? Who the men were? They were Pinchas and Caleb. Now, what is this? Hainam Izesh Shem Avashem Aracha Mucha Shahaisa today gets Kamova Bimish Rabba. Atadikim Shemam Kaidim Kamo Shadarshu Vishmo Boyes Vishmo Mordechai. V'chein gam kam mitzayna v'sham aracha v'hoyers ki asa nisgaira v'nasi tzedekis v'zachta shiatzu v'meina esera. She became ger, as evidenced by her proclaiming her name. Amna v'kablan v'hargish v'him melech Yericho v'shama ba'al l'chbor esa arash nema v'yam melech Yericho l'mor givan shehalchu v'akshem. The king was looking for these guys. Rahab heard and hid them. Amar la Pinchas ani koyin. Pinchas said to her, I am a koyin. And the koyanim are like angels, as it says in Malachi. For the lips of the koyin will safeguard knowledge, and the Torah should be sought after from his mouth, because he's an angel of God, the master of legions. And the angel requests, Nira Mavakesh Eino Nira. Malach Mavakesh, the angel that you seek, it appears Nira Mavakesh, the request is not in appearance. How do we know that prophets are like angels? Surely Moshe Haya. Ela Mekane Shinamshalu Hanavim Lamalachim. Vayamar Allah Iskam Mitzrayim. Surely Pinchas Haya. Ela Mekan Shnigro Hanavim Malachim. Vafigag Amar La Pinchas Ani Koyin. Ve'eni Tzarech Lahatmin. Vahatmine Lekelev Chevre. Vani Oimed Lifneim. Ve'ena Royan Oto. V'chein Asta Shnema. V'digag Isha Ishnei Anashim V'titzpanim. Egsiv Kan Ela V'titzpano. Hari Shalohid Mano LePinchas El Caleb. Lamanecha Kama Nitnu Shnei Tzadikim Elu Nafsham Aso Shlichusam. Kama Nitnu Shnei Tzadikim Elu Nafsham La'asos. What does that mean? Katsat Sorach Iyun Kavon Shahaya Pinchas Kamal Sheino Nira Eza Mesiras Nefesh Haya Lo Bazeh. Shahaya Pinchas Kamalak Sheino Nira Eza. Okay. So Caleb and Pinchas were each like a type. Wait a minute. No, Pinchas. No, sorry. Caleb's not considered a prophet here. Pinchas is a Cohen and a prophet. So he is extremely angelic. And the angel's not seen. So she did not have to hide him. Did you guys ever hear this pshat before? It was a famous pshat. Yeah, it's a really good one. So Pinchas didn't have to hide. That's why she hid him and not them. And Caleb was a tzaddik, and he was moser nefesh to do his job. And the question is, why does it say them if it's only him? Because Pinchas didn't have to be moser nefesh. He was already like an angel. Okay. So now, what do I want to say here? So Pinchas is your total prophetic type of guy, angel. He is your Hazelelponi mazel, and he's working with Rahab. And Pinchas is the one, obviously, that set up the match for marriage between Joshua and Rahab. Caleb is hiding. She's hiding Caleb. Let's continue. The story is building nicely. What do you think? You guys like the story? Vayihi shar lizgor b'choshek v'anashim yatzu lo yirad diyana halchu anashim ridfu mahir achreim ki tasigum. V'hi alasam hagaga v'hitmanim b'pishtei ha'etz aruchus la alagag. She put them up on the roof. Anashim radfu achreim derech yardin al ma'al brois v'shar sagru achrei gashi yatzu arod fim achreim. They chase after to no avail. Heima teram yish kavun he. Alasa leim alagag. Vatoimer el hanashim yadati ki nasan Hashem lachem es haaretz ki nafla imaschem aleinu ki na mogu koyoshe haaretz mipnechem ki shamanu es asher havish Hashem es me yamsuv mipnechem v'etzeschem mitzrayim v'asher asitim lishnei malchei amorei Asher Eva Yarden Lesichel Laoig Asher Echramten Eisen. Vinishma v'yames levavenu v'lo kama od ruach ba'ish v'imnechem ki Hashem alechem hu Elohim v'shamayim v'lo haaretz pitachos v'lata v'yishba na li b'Hashem ki asiti imachem chesed. And now she's talking. Basically, we all heard about the great things that happened to the Jews. Okay. Now we're talking about Naaman over here. So what is that about? Ki Hashem hu Elohim Rabban Amrei Yisro Natan Mamish Bevoyes Chochavim Now I knew God is great. Mikol Elohim. Naaman hodem exalts b'meinish nemar hana dati ki'ein Elohim b'kol arzi ki'im Yisrael racham shemesim b'shemayim. Wow, here is great proof that Jethro and Rahab are ger and not convert. Because Midrash Rabbah, Justin B., Midrash Rabbah, Dvarim, Parsha 2, Pisca 27. 227, Midrash Rabbah, Dvarim. That's on you. Type 1. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Did you already do that? Whatever it is, you just typed it. There it is. So because we got Naaman, and they're comparing it to Rahab and Jethro, pro-ger, very strong ger source. And, of course, Rabbi Katz makes up ger sources. They don't actually exist, do they? Pretty hard to refute that one, but they would try. All right. So now this is her ger moment. One second. All right, so we are in our ger moment here. In fact, this is actually quite powerful. Do you realize what just happened? We just realized how a person becomes ger. They run the Naaman, Jethro, Rahab formula. I'm a goy, and I heard what God did, and I know that God gave the land to the Jews, and I'm here to help. I'm now a ger. That's the formula. Naaman, Jethro, and Rahab all ran that program the same way. So these verses in the Torah are not just like praise. This is ger formula, how to become ger. I think that's pretty important. And she's recognizing that the land is Jewish. It's conquered. And she says, swear to me by Hashem that I do chesed with you, and you do the same to me and my household. And place for me a sign of truth. Shetasu kishabo v'tikavshu es ha'ir v'tzchiru os v'chiyuni. Simen amiti l'man yadau kol Yisrael l'bal shlachu. Right, oh man, this is fantastic. Why is she asking for a sign? Why is she asking for a sign? Why is she asking for a sign? Hello, hello, hello. Because Justin B. didn't watch the America Han class, or did he? Justin B., did you watch America Han? At the wall. Did I mention Rahab at the wall? The answer is yes, I did. In about 3 weeks from now, Israel's going to conquer the land, and these Canaanites are going to become slave ger toshav. Type 1. She's saying, it's not conquered yet. I'm ger toshav, and I'm not a slave. Give me a sign of the truth so that when y'all conquer the land, I don't have to be like Jethro and leave town. I'm not leaving town. How do we know that, Jock? Because she said, my dad and family. I'm not leaving like Jethro and Naaman. I'm not leaving. And I don't want my family to leave either. And we're not idolaters. We are ger. You better make sure that we're ger, and that way we don't become slaves. Now the story makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? So let's find out what the sign was and how it became that they didn't become slaves. Save them from death. There's no death. There's just either death or ger slave. Vayomru lanashim nafshenu tachtechem amos im lo tagidu es divrenu ze v'haya b'teit Hashem lanu es ha'arz v'sinu imach chesed ve'emes. You did with us kindness and truth. The Maharal of Prague says kindness and truth is what saves everybody and anybody from war. Toridam bechevel ba'ad hacholon ki beisa bekira choyme b'choyme hiyo Shabbos. But Tomer lehin, she said to them, Ahar alechu pen yifgu b'chem harodfim v'nachbeisim shama shlishi yamim ad shova roifim acher telchu l'drechim v'yomru aleya anashim nakiyim anachnu mishu ba'asech azer asher yishpartanu. We are good guys. She said, take off and run. We are good and you are good. Hine anachnu boyim ba'aretz es tikvas chot hashani hazeh tikshuri b'cholon asher hordatenu bo v'es avich v'es imech v'es achayich v'es kol v'es avich ta'asvi alayach habesa. They said, we are coming to the land with a thread of hope, or rather, the hope of this scarlet thread that you will tie in the window, and then you'll bring it down, and all your family is going to be attached to this symbolic thread. That's the sign. Meloshin kav v'chevil. So it's actually not hope. It's a red rope, a scarlet red rope. She hung out a scarlet rope. Why? How does a scarlet rope work? V'haya ko asher yetzim medalti beisech achutza demo b'rosh v'nanu nakim v'ko asher yeh itach b'bayit damo b'roshenu im yad yeh bo v'im tagidi es devarenu ze v'hayenu nakim mishu basech asher ishbatanu. They made an oath. We're clean, you're clean, we're all good here. V'toimer kedivrechem kenhu v'tashlechem v'yelechu v'tikshur es tikvas hashani b'chom. V'toimer kedivrechem. She said, like y'all said, kenhu, it's okay. Vat shalchem, you sent and go and tie the cord, the red cord in the window. They went, they came, and they hurried and returned there 3 days. So they returned and chased after and requested the chasing after people all the way. They didn't find them. They returned. 2 men and descended from the mountain, and they crossed over. They came to Joshua, son of Nun, and he told him all what he found there. And he said to Joshua, son of Nun, Hashem biyadenu, God placed in our hands all the land. V'gam namogu kol yoshvei haaretz mipanenu. So they came back and they had said, God delivered everything. Vayishkem yod Hoshua b'boiker v'yasu mahashitim v'yavo ad Yarden hu v'kol b'nei Yisrael v'yalinu sham terem levoru v'yim meketzer shlosha yamim v'avru ha'shodrim b'kerev ha'machane v'yitzava es ha'am lemor kiros sechem es aron bris Hashem Elohechem kol yanim levim nosim also v'atem tisa'u mimkomechem. All right, so they're crossing over. They're going to conquer Israel. And Rahab, her wisdom, she knew. It's almost like Rebecca knew how to get Jacob the blessings. We didn't answer it yet, Jock. We're going to get the answer soon, God willing. That's what we're looking for. But Rebecca was able to manipulate Jacob to get the blessing that Isaac would recognize. Type 1. So Rahab knew the wisdom that would show Pinchas and Caleb unassailable proof that Israel would be conquered, right? She was so wise. Basically, I'll tell you what, who conquered Israel? Trick question, Jacques. Who conquered Israel? Rahab. It's almost like saying, who conquered the Temple Mount? Aravna. Right? Because Rahab knew how Israel worked. She was the sustenance person. And she was able to show definitively Pinchas and Caleb that they had succeeded. And Joshua then knew to cross over and do it. And so, and she was not going to give the information unless they signed a covenant with the scarlet rope. Now, we're going to have to find out what that rope is. So Joshua told the Kohanim, cross over and bring the ark in. And they're coming. Let's see if we got anything more with Rahab before we go into the thread. Ready? And they're going in there, and they're going in there. And they're going in there, and they're going in there. And they're going in there, and they're going in there. And they're going in there, and they're going in there. So Rahab was the one that allowed them to cross over. And this is the thing. She did not want to leave Israel. And they're not going to kill any of her family. And that's why the Ger became very strong, rallying around Rahab. So again, the conquering of Israel was through her directly. And not only her directly, hello Lars, but from the covenant that they sealed. And they knew the wisdom of how to do the covenant. So now let's think for a second. I'm just flipping the pages here to see if she comes back. I don't think she's going to come back. Let me get the concordancy out and see if she comes back. Let's see if our friend Rahab comes back. Rahab, where are you? Rahab, where are you? I am determined to solve this red thread tonight, Jock, just so you know. Joshua, all right, so chapter 6, 17 through 25. Let's go back, 6, 25, 6, 25, 6, 25, 6, 25. I definitely hear the Yom Kippur thing. Let's see what happens. 6, 25. Okay. V'ha'ir sarfu be'esh. So I guess we met up with our superheroes. They're burning down Jericho. Rahab's in trouble. Kol asher baraka kesef v'zav keli nachoshes barzel nitnu oitzer beis Hashem. Ve'es racha v'zoyne ve'es beis aviyah ve'es kol asher la chaya Yeshua v'tesha b'kerev Yisrael Ada yom hazeh ki herbiya es malachim asher shlach Yeshua l'ragal es Yericho. How do you like them apples? How do you like them apples? Justin B., was it just a fancy midrash that said that Pinchas and Caleb are angels? No. What does an angel mean? It means messenger. What does the verse say? They kept Rahab alive because of Joshua sending the two angels. Esa malachim asher shlach Yeshua the regalas Yericho. Who were the angels, Jacques? Who were the angels? Pinchas and Caleb. So Rahab did have revelation of the angel, the angelic quality coming through those two guys through prophecy. And she had a prophetic revelation. And the prophetic revelation was the red thread. And that's what kept her alive and Ger in the land. So by Hazelelponi, she got the prophecy. Everything that was the angel came onto her. So the prophecy of the men was the red thread. She did it. You can even say that Rahab means vast, like a lot, wide. So maybe the thread was wide. We're going to check out that thread. We're going to check it out. V'yishba Yoshua be'ezahi lemor aru ha'ish v'nei Hashem asher yakom abana ezahir azos es Yericho v'bechoro yisena v'azir v'hi Hashem v'hi shamu kol haaretz. Was that the end of Rahab? That was quick. All right. So they kept her alive. She's true Ger. She doesn't have to become a conquered Ger like the Gibeonites. She's going to marry Joshua. And they're going to have those special kids. All right. So she becomes defined by the red thread, because that was the prophecy. And somehow those guys knew to give her. Let's go back and explore the thread in detail. Ready? Let's explore the thread in detail. Chapter 2, verse 18. Chapter 2, verse 18. Hine anachnu boyim ba'aretz. In the book of Joshua. Behold, we came in the land, or we brought in the land, tikvat hachut ashani azeh, tikshuri b'chalon, asher hordatem. Okay. It's like the string of the Messiah, right? The sons of Tamar. She put the red scarlet string on parrots, the firstborn of Tamar, which was the lineage of Mashiach. You see that? So now the mazel of Rahab goes back to Tamar, the daughter of Shem. I think we should go back now into the Chumash and check out that red thread. What do you think? What do you think? There's no point doing it here because it's over there. Let's go check it out. I'm feeling bold. Let's do it. Let's do it, Jack. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I also live dangerously. All right. We're going to find out what that red thread is. It's kind of bothered me, that one, for a long time. Let's get the midrash on this. We're going full in, all in on this one. All right. I'll give a lollipop to whoever can tell me the verse the fastest so I can find it. Any takers? Anybody want a lollipop? Where's the verse? It should be. Where is it? Where is it? Shlach. Shefchaot. Parshas Vayeshev. Yosef. He's going to go to jail. He's got balagan. And Yosef went to Egypt. Got rough over there. And Judah's going to go with, hey, Jacques, didn't Judah go out with a harlot? Well, it's similar mazel, isn't it? Where? And Judah was hanging out with Hiram. For those that saw Mike's talk, we're looking for the red scarlet, the birth of Peretz and Zerach. There he is. There it is. There it is. There it is. We got our harlot. We got the ger. Ma paratz the Eliav Peretz v'ikro Shmuel Peretz v'acher. Chapter 39:30 in Genesis. 39:30 in Genesis. 39:30. No, sorry, you're right. 38:30. 38. Yeah, yeah. 38:20. Yeah. Wow, I'm all over the place here. You're right. 38. Wait a minute. Where was wait a minute, hold on. Where was that thread? Hold on. No, 25. 38:25. No, 28. What am I doing? Yeah, 38:28. 38:28. There you go. 38:28. 38:28. 38:28. Exactly. She wasn't the harlot. 100%. And she is probably the queen Ger, being the daughter of Shem. Now, Vaybe'ez lidata v'hinei ta'omim bebitna vayhi belidata vayiten yad vatikach miledet vatikshor al yado shani le'amar ze yatsa rishona. So the shani is the scarlet, is the thread. I think it's a scarlet thread. Let's look here. Shani 28. What was the language from there one? A tikva chut shani. That's right. So yeah, it's the same thread. All right, so we want to know, what is that thread? And the commentators don't say. Vayitin yad. Rashi doesn't say. The crimson thread. So for some reason, it made ger by Rahab. Ow! Oh, my finger hurts. And what it does by Peretz, the idea of tying a red thread for an important moment, I guess we could say, to be vague enough. We don't even know just the Indian. What's the Indian? We see that's all we know is there's an Indian of tying a red thread. It's not some kind of Kabbalah Center thing. Okay. Any commentators here? This is elusive. You know what? We're going to turn to the big guns. All of the little guns aren't working. We're going to go to our friend the Arizal. See what he's got to say. Let's do that. Where's the Arizal? Shoot. See what we find here. Can you please paste the text from Proverbs? 38. I got some old school notes in here. Man, this goes back years. What is this? What in the world? All right, 38. 38. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, ready for some Torah of the Arizal? Anybody? Big, all right. Vayi belida vayitin yad v'tikach hamiledet da ki hishchit yoiser ma'oinin hashchit biyad v'oki lo hay mechmasiba rak mechmas avira v'onen lo hay rak lifi shiada. Just talking about the birth and the dead kids from Judah and these new kids from Judah. Okay, Leolam Hishkid Zero. His seed was being blotted out. Let's say that this Rishon Yotzi Achron of Peretz who Er. Peretz is a Gilgal of Er, and Zerach is a Gilgal of Onan. Make a note of that. Zerach Natanyado ki kevan shelo haya mashchit biyadayim. Haya roitzel et seit rishayna lekacha tabachoira duhu adif. It's about getting the firstborn. Veha mieledes kashra al yado shani. So the firstborn, they tied the thread. The makumakom hu shafach damin. Ve'eno tov lagamri kivon shachein ze yatz rishana mekoidim. The haino aroi gamke let's say ata uma paratzta alayach peretz shechazaka al oso shehu alayach kamashul hashpoperet ve'er hainu ra minayin harayon she'ina yoledes el ra. First was hayuzivo shechaser nishara. Gafalgav Shahumat. All right. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Now here we go. Vatikshur al yadu shani, tied on his hand the red scarlet thread. Daki hishchit yoiser ma'oinin. Remember the kid that died was more persecuted than Onan. Chada de hashchit biyado. O ki lo haya michmas siba rak michmas avera. Onan lo haya raki yada ki lo yezera. Gadlu hayarakim bo el ishis achiv v'shachis artsa. Their sin was that they like perpetrated the earth. Ulazeh Yehuda chashav shelo hayetzorich rak lavi es er. V'obavor she'er haniach ba'rucha dahainu ein isha courses bris el misha asakeli ki hoil kavanaso. Haya rak shalo tit avar in came bavara hoil va'in isha meveres mabia rishayna lo shacha zero bifniatmo. Ava oinen tamin hishchi zero ki kvar haysa ba'ula the haya imbo tamin shikha zero artsa mokomakom bavor sha'oinen asaba maimer udavik ba'rucha al yedei kiddushin shabo gam came mid dvekin rucha. Shaboat say nechnas rishon yatsa achron. Uperetz haya v'zerach onin v'zerach noten yado lemor. Kevon shelo haya mishki zero biyado haya rotzel at seit rishona likach b'chora duhu adif. Okay, so Zerach is Onan. He spilled seed less. He thought he should merit the firstborn, and he wanted to come out first. Type 1. Now that we're caught up. Rav Yeledis Kashra al Yado Sheni. The Makumakav Hu Kamisha Shafak Damim Ve'ino Tova Gamri. So it's like he shed blood and is not totally good. And V'Kevan Shechain Roya Shiyatza Gamkein Er Berishoinin. So Er came out first. Uma Paratzta Alayich Peretz Shenit Chazekit Kamashal Hashpopered Hanal Mi Shenichnes Rishon Yatza Achron. Whoever comes out, whoever enters first goes out last. So the entire thing is about the firstborn. The Indian is the firstborn. Now, why that means a red thread, I don't exactly know. I don't exactly know. But we know that Joshua was the firstborn through Ephraim, where you get Mashiach ben Ephraim. And how Rahab understands basically that Mashiach ben Yosef goes through her. Through Yeshua, which is the Indian of the firstborn. So it's a firstborn thing. Apparently people are aware of firstborn, and it comes in very strange ways, and it results in the red thread. So if that's true for Tamar, the Zona, Rahab, the Zona, Hazelelponi, no one suggested she was a Zona. They're saying she was a righteous woman. So the question by Samson is going to be a harlot. By Samson, I'm going to leave off here for next week. Justin B., please write this down. We want to go into Samson, and we want to look for the red thread. You will have me, God willing, look up more information on what is the red thread. Firstborn, angels, prophecy, all this story cooking until now, we're ready for Samson. We need to know what is the thread, the red thread. Firstborn, as we saw it in Tamar, Rahab, and superimposing that into Hazelelponi. Okay, guys?